Effective next paycheck, Albuquerque police officers will see a 2.5% pay cut. The Albuquerque Police Officers Association says the lower wage could push up to 60 officers into early retirement.
So these guys have put their lives on the line every single day for 20 plus years, and they're not going to continue to do it when it's worth less to them when they walk away at the end.
Yesterday, the mayor cut the salaries of firefighters by nearly 2.5%.
After supporting huge tax cuts for the wealthy, Senate Republicans say we can't afford to help 9/11 rescue workers who are sick from toxic exposure at Ground Zero. Last week, Senate Republicans blocked the Zadroga Act, named after a first responder who died of lung disease.
There's an NYPD detective who died in 2006 from respiratory illness thought to be caused by the dust he inhaled while working at Ground Zero in 2001. This bill would provide $7 billion in medical and financial benefits for Ground Zero workers who get sick. It's a win-win-win-win. Just do it! The House passed it.
Today, the Senate passed that bill to extend tax cuts to all Americans, including the wealthiest, by an overwhelming 81-19 vote.
Yes! That is astoundingly good news for firefighters that make over $200,000 a year.
If I'm taking pay cuts, it doesn't matter whether a policeman or a security guard or pipe fitter or plumber. The economy is affecting everybody. Why shouldn't it affect them too?
That's right. I'm talking to all of you that keep doing your banking at the giant, too-big-to-fail Wall Street banks that brought our economy to the brink of disaster, were then rescued by trillions of dollars of our taxpayer money, then paid us back by using that money to hire lobbyists to convince our lawmakers in Washington to kill financial reform. They took our money, but cut back on lending. They took our money and made record profits and paid themselves record bonuses.
So, bottom line, these supposedly selfless unions are acting very selfishly.
They took our money and then returned to the risky casino-like behavior that led to the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression, with record unemployment, bankruptcies, and foreclosures.
If I'm taking pay cuts, it doesn't matter whether a policeman or a security guard or pipe fitter or plumber. The economy is affecting everybody. Why shouldn't it affect them too?
They took our money but kept on with all the greedy, abusive, ruthless, and cold-blooded practices that have earned them untold billions of dollars a year, year after year. Things like charging you outrageous fees for anything and everything, jacking up your credit card interest rate to 30% for being late on one payment. It's a good thing sodomy is legal. And refusing to negotiate your mortgage after the housing bubble they helped create burst. These big banks, deemed too big to fail by our Wall Street-friendly leaders in Washington, are convinced that they can get away with anything because they always have.
The president said today it's time to fix a broken tax code that encourages U.S. corporations to send money and jobs overseas.
It's a tax code that says you should pay lower taxes if you create a job in Bangalore, India, than if you create one in Buffalo, New York.
We're going to penalize those companies simply because they are successful. And the administration needs money.
The problem are the union bosses that lied to you and the criminal politicians that have lied to you and have lied to all of Americans, trying to tell us that somehow this system would be sustainable when they knew it was not. 40 cents on every dollar is being borrowed to pay for the reckless criminal spending that's taking place. Why don't we stand up collectively and do something about that? Why don't we stand up collectively and do something about reclaiming the American dream and the greatness of this constitutional republic instead of borrowing more money from the Chinese to continue to pay for an unsustainable system?
We've already agreed to your pay cuts when it comes to the state employees. We've already agreed to give into the pensions. We've already agreed to give into our health care funds, etc. We just can't have you taking away our bargaining rights, because then that means we have no rights whatsoever and we have no ability to be able to even negotiate our own wages.